So these things are still being used in a very real way.
Right, exactly. So that's really, I mean, I would say there's the, 2011 and 2012 thing. I think our next step is to really just get these really just bring that awareness out there and find some sort of, I mean, I'm always trying to create councils and groups and think tanks and strategies to nail this. And I have very limited contact with people that are in this field that know all about it. And it would really be wonderful if I could have more contact with them, because, there has to be just, these things need to.
Well, how can people contact you? Would it be best you're going to be creating new pages on Facebook? I know you've mentioned that.
Yeah, and then I have if one just goes to my friends page, the name I use is Laura Magdalena. Got all my contact information just on that friends page, and I'm just I'm on it a lot. I think what I feel, there's this sense of when one's intuition is being disturbed because something's not happening that should be happening. All I know that my intuition is telling me is that those who understand these technologies and know that they're out there that, can assist me and we can all assist each other in investigating the names that I've mentioned, knowing that the names I mentioned are the grandfathers of these technologies and are behind them, or at least were. They destroyed all evidence of it. And then, find some way to locate them and use the powers in GC and the connections that I have there to just do something about it. I mean, I have all the faith in the world that on an energetic level we can defeat all of this, but I don't think we can survive another disaster. It's beyond devastating for all of us. It's beyond devastating times 1,000 to experience it. It's unimaginable what these people must be going through, and that was the biggest wake up call, especially knowing this is not part of the Gaia. This is not part of nature's will. It's not, and it needs to be dismantled. It's too much to ask if we all energetically step up to the plate, because we can't expect everybody to do that. There's so many patterns and ancestral patterns, and it's not enough. I mean, we have to tackle this immediately, just for the sake of we don't want any of our fellow humans to suffer. A lot of us will be okay, but there can't be any more of this. There can't be, especially if we know that something's out there that's triggering this. So I would say that's the first step, and then just to continue with just this opening up of an awareness of the Venus energy, the transits, the timeline that is secured, but even more so in numbers if others can just tune their being into it and release the imprint of the other timelines that keep one locked in fear and a self-fulfilling prophecy to follow something that's already kind of dead but still has power. On the larger proportions, it doesn't hold much weight, but it's still affecting individuals. And there is still, major I mean, I sound really confident that there is no doom coming, and there isn't, but there's a lot of cleanup to do. There's a lot of busting and exposing, and it's just, there's no doom because we're all meeting each other now, but we got a lot of work to do, I guess is what I mean.
Right. Well, there are about 5 minutes left in this segment, which has really flown by, and you talked a lot. You've talked even about reaching out to Obama and beginning to act at the presidential and even maybe at the world level with, as support gains. You've talked about 2011 and 12, and of course the time acceleration matrix says, well, as of October 28th, 2011, there is no more time, and also this portal of energy that that you're talking about, the Stargate that's opening. So, just in these last five minutes or so, if you could give us just a vision of where you'd like to see things going over the next year or two.
As shy as I am, I know I need to speak a lot. I know I need to share a lot. I know I need to listen to, there needs to be things like Awaken Aware Conference. I want to be able to, just create more unified forums to just talk about our experiences and what's happening and have strategic councils I'm not far away from Obama as far as my family's concerned, but I know that because it's a family energy, I need more support in order to convince those that are close by to it, to allow me access. This is not going to be that hard, so what I'd like to see is just an acceleration of reaching a goal and not just letting it dwindle and not saying, okay, well, that was nice what you did. We're running out of time. It's kind of like, I'm really here to speak because we are running out of time, and this is a very crucial missing link to a successful outcome. I wouldn't speak unless that was the case. So, what I'd like to see is that this really gets just injected into those that are doing similar work in a way that's proactive and ready to just not stop until we complete what needs to be done. We don't have any room for, anything else, but we need to take care of ourselves too, so there's a balance, We don't want to overwork ourselves. We don't want to stress ourselves out, so I trust the flow, and I'm not ever going to say it's not going right, but I might bring up, well, my intuition's going a little berserk and something's got to happen here based on the natural rhythm of things. But we also need to just really get in touch with what society doesn't give us a lot of time for, which is, what is that divine spark about? Where have we been giving our power and our energy? And, are we really allowed to just empower ourselves and recognize that God is not out there, but it's in us? And that, Earth is not a resource. It's an organism, and there's a personification of it. There's a goddess and all women are goddesses, and all men are, it's like we're all this. This is something that's our reality, and we're robbed from that information. So, I just see that a lot needs to be just empowered and reminded, and these sort of messages just have to be said over and over again, because a lot wants to trick us and take us away from that, and they don't have much power left, but they're going to certainly use what they can to create a lot of fear. And when fear is created, we're blocked. So, the lack of fear and the total awareness of being in the now and having what we have and giving our energy to ourselves instead of other powers is really where we need to focus ourselves. Because right now, if we all turn the lights on, we'd be fine. So, and that's really what the focus needs to be, is to really look at this stuff and how can we keep that alive and stay focused. And also create strategies to nail these negative technologies and, really understand the Mars thing more. Even though, I believe I broke a certain timeline, I'm never going to assume. So, investigation strategies and empowerment of the sacred gene within us and the understanding of, what religion has failed to communicate. We don't really need religion as much as we need to understand that we are the temple and we are God, Goddess within, and we have the creative ability, each as individuals, to do exactly what we need to do, which would make it a lot easier for me to bring an immense amount of energy in that we're all going to do together, but I can, I have a certain sense of something that others might not be aware of that needs to be taken seriously. Really does need to be taken seriously. Sometimes I don't take myself seriously, but so this is me saying you got to take it seriously, because I certainly don't say it lightly, and it's pretty serious. I have charts. There's a person here in California that I've got many people that'll back me up with all sorts of proof and validation of what I'm saying. So I've gathered enough of that to feel like I can have a voice without, feeling like, oh, I don't have any backup. Well, I do.
Well, I would urge our listening audience, you can refer to a very in-depth article that Laura has written, which we're linking to at exopolitics.com, which is also available at Laura's at Laura's website again, if you'd like to mention that.
Yes, CosmicGaia2012.com. And my name's Laura Magdalena. You can find me on Facebook. And I'm a very interactive person, and I'm not very, I really interact. So I'm open to questions, skepticism, you name it. I'm ready for all of it. And I know this is a lot to swallow, and I expect that there's going to be a lot of, questions. But there's a lot out there already that says and validates this, so look out for it and learn about some of the things I mentioned, because it's out there too. But I'm a good person to come to as well, because I am available to the best that I can be.
Well, we really want to thank you for being with us over the last couple of hours, and this is